welcome. We're really happy to have you here. That you're one of D is very excited to podcast with you.
Yeah, I'm excited to hang out, man.
Great.
He thinks you're very funny.
Oh, shit.
I mean, usually you're kind of like you remind me of Steve Poltz a little bit when your live shows. You get a little bit of music and a little bit of laughs.
Yeah,
and that's always a good time. I always like that.
Well, thanks. That's a good guy to be reminding people of in a way. He's pretty one of a kind and extremely dynamic in every way.
Usually after our podcast with him, we're like both sweating and like I feel like I've lost 15 pounds of like laughter and meditation. And
you might be mud wrestling too. Last time I think we mud wrestled with him in here.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
The obvious question is where'd you get the mud? Where'd the mud?
We'll show you after.
Yeah.
We'll take you out. But only people we really like.
I saw you in here. I saw him playing in here.
Yeah, this is where.
I must have missed that mud part.
It's off air.
It was after.
We can't show it yet.
Exactly.
So do you have
We're not doing that tonight. Probably not doing
We're
that.
definitely going to mud wrestle.
Come on. Wait, do you think you could take Meryl really in a mud wrestle? I mean,
Well,
size her up.
I wouldn't want to bet on myself. I wouldn't give myself odds.
She's slippery.
What about thumb wrestling?
We could do that.
Fun wrestling?
Thumb wrestling.
Oh, no,
Yep. No. No. Are you? Do you play cards at all, or poker, or any stuff like that?
much.
No.
No. I have on occasion, but I'm not that into it. I met a guy, I had a backup band, and Adam was the piano player. He's also a magician who worked at the Magic Castle.
Oh.
His specialty was cards. Mm-hmm. So I was having a talk with him at the Denny's one night. Not only could he do cards, he could sit there and deal me any hand. And I'm watching his hands, and he says, "Look, Jack, see, now I'm going to overturn the first card." So he give me the first card. It's an ace, and the next one's an ace. Then he shows me the real first card. And I'm watching him take the card, and I can't tell he's taking the second card.
Whoa.
Even if he tells me he is, and no matter how much I'm looking, I can't tell. So I asked him about poker games. He says, there's a poker game right now. There's hundreds of poker games in this city going on right now in people's houses where they're betting big money. It's illegal, but they're everywhere. They're 24 hours a day. And I said, well, Adam, how many of these poker games do you think have somebody like you in the game that the other people don't know? Oh. And he says, Jack, every one of them. Every one of these games. Guys think they're playing poker, but they're going to lose no matter what they do because they've got a card mechanic.
Yeah.
And then I sat there and talked to him for another half an hour. And then I said, well, wait a minute. Suppose you're in a game and another guy like you is in the game.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
He says, that's a good question. He says, what happens is we spot the other guy right away. Then we have a keyword that all of us card mechanics know. He says, for example, if the keyword's Hemingway, you go, I just kind of read a cool book by this guy Hemingway. Do you like his stuff? And if the other card mechanic says, yeah, I like his stuff, that means you're going to split the take later.
Oh.
But if the other guy says, no, I don't like his stuff, that means that one of you has to leave.
What if he really does like Hemingway, but he's not going to split?
Well, then he's not a card mechanic and he's not using the
that's
keyword.
True. Okay, so
it's just like
he's got a gun in his other pocket.
This is why I could barely play checkers.
So then I thought of all the people playing poker, that it's their life, and they go on the weekend and they find these games, and they have actually like zero chance of ever really winning any money because they don't know that there are these guys in every game. So you asked me if I played poker, and that was my answer.
Not yet. But
the other thing Adam could do is he could throw a card across a room and stick it into a piece of wood.
Wow.
Yeah. He said, I'm not as good as Ricky Jay, who does that same thing. Mm-hmm. But he says, we were in the Denny's. He says, see those pieces, those pies over there? I could throw a card and stick it right in that lemon meringue pie. Anyway.
And this guy's in your band?
He was in my band, yeah.
Wow, get him back.
I know.
Sounds great. He could open the show for you.
Then we went to the Magic Castle, and he performed all these amazing card tricks. So.
I've been dying to go to the Magic Castle, but it's like invite only. I know. Yeah. I have to know an Adam, someone liking him.
That's how I got in.
I'm gonna find him on
Maybe
your
he
CD
could
liner and be like Jackson.
pull out like a ticket instead of a card.
Oh yeah,
Like, I
you
got
could throw
2
a ticket
tickets.
in my paper cut my forehead or something. So thank you for coming in.
Sure.
Can I arrange all of your CDs while we talk too?
that would be fun.
Now, which one is the most recent one?
This is the most recent one here.
This one is called One More Song.
One More Song. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the most recent, just came out, and I'm having a great time with that.
I always like your CD. Like I feel like your imaging is very simple and cool.
Thank you.
You always look cool, and I got very excited that you showed up wearing your hat that I've seen in photos.
Oh my
before,
goodness!
too.
You mean I don't have it on right now? Uh-oh.
That's a very cool hat. Are you like a hat wearing man daily, or is
Just
it for
this
special?
hat,
Just
you
that
know.
hat.
I used to wear a baseball cap, and it said "Peaceful, Easy Feeling," and it had lights in it.
Whoa!
Yeah, so you could turn it on at night
Oh my gosh,
for walking around. But
that's a really good idea. Like a headlamp, or
yeah, it's like it was built into the hat.
Oh,
And
that's
it's like
brilliant.
a flashlight. It's very powerful. You can get them on my website, but I'm not wearing them anymore because I got old and switched to the old guy hat.
so you sold them on your website?
Yeah, they're still for sale on my website. Peaceful,
okay.
Easy Feeling
With lights.
hat with lights.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Absolutely.
really gonna buy one and never turn the lights
They're
off.
good for taking out the trash at night. You know, if you're an engineer, you go down behind the board and look at the patch bay. You need one of those.
Turn it on.
You know.
I like it.
And then there's the Death Laser Ray, which is only on the special model that I use. But other than that,
I'm gonna wear it. This
Can't
is
go to
very
the airport
random, but
anymore.
I feel nervous walking alone at night lately.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't felt that way in a long time. But I feel like I live in San Diego,
yeah.
and like I'm starting to feel freaked out late at night.
well, you can turn the light on and tell the guy approaching you, you're on the internet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And then it says
There you go.
peaceful, easy feeling. So as I'm like scared and paranoid, looking all around, then I can. It's the fake it till you make it. If I wear it, they shall not attack
They
me.
shall not. That's right.
So you have like 3 CDs right here, 3 albums. That means you've been busy. You've been cranking these out one
Yeah.
after the other.
Yeah. Well, I had a business plan. Every musician doesn't have one,
I was gonna say.
just like a business card.
Oh, why do people need business cards anymore?
Well,
That's
a
outdated.
CD is a great business card.
Yeah,
right?
this
You're
is
like,
your business
here's
card.
my
I should have one, but I don't know.
It's like a singing business card,
yeah,
right?
It is.
Here's my card.
So I had a business plan, and I made it really short because I'm very lazy, and it's called Billionaire Patron. It works for any business. You just get a billionaire patron.
So so someone just to pay for you, like an
Yeah,
angel
exactly,
investor kind of thing. Yeah, rich uncle or something
So
like that.
I found a record label run by a guy who's made a lot of money in another field, but is a giant music fan.
So is it Blue Elan?
It's Blue Elan.
Okay, so we know people from there too. We can say Niels. We work with
Niels.
a lot,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Someone that worked with Niels, who's really cool.
Because Niels was with
and
the
Paul
the
Milbury.
record company here, and Paul Milbury.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They.
So they're great people, and the whole label is driven by the label president's extreme interest in music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he knows every album that he ever liked and collected, and all the songs on it in order, and he just,
Wow.
he's really into it. So he signed me, and allowed me to make these records. So there's these 3.
So you made 3 in the last 18 months?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Wow.
I
Is
think
that
so.
of your own? Was that part of your business plan, or was that part of your? Okay.
Well,
yeah.
if somebody else is going to pay for me to make records,
Yeah.
I'm doing
Why
it.
not? Heck yeah.
And I started doing it. And then I found my producer lives in this area, Joel Piper.
Mm-hmm.
He's also took these photographs of me. So he's a photographer too.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's a young guy, a lot younger than me, but somehow we managed to merge our musical identities. And he's super talented and lives here. And we just completed another album that's coming out in June.
Wow.
And it's called Peaceful, Easy Feeling, The Songs of Jack Tempchin.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Very
So
cool.
it's where I record all the songs that I've written, like myself or with Glenn Frey, that became hits on the radio.
Wow.
And some of them I do just like the Glenn Frey hit versions, and other ones I do my own completely different version.
Wow. Did you know going into recording which ones you're going to do different?
I just had to feel out for each song because it was quite challenging to do songs that already were hits. And you go, well, how am I going to do them? So I just approached each one differently.
And that's coming out
in June.
In June, wow.
Yeah,
that's exciting. That's big. You have a lot of hit songs. I mean, how many hit songs do you have? You really have quite a few, right?
Yeah, maybe 8 or 10 that have been on the charts.
Which one? Can we go through them? Which ones are they? Peaceful, Easy Feeling, of course.
I can read them out. No, they're not here yet.
I don't have. Let me see if I can get a list.
We should play a viewer game at home. If we had someone to like read it off, if you get
every night before I go to sleep, I try to forget. I try to forget all those.
Maybe I'll make this a drinking game with your wine. Peaceful, Easy Feeling.
Exactly.
A cab. The next one, we'll break it out on the next one because I don't want to get too silly on this one. And we'll talk a little bit about the wine coming up soon.
Don't let me
we'll share
look
it.
at this. We're looking at Jack's wine here. Peaceful, Easy Feeling.
And it's a cab.
Cabernet.
And it's made here in Temecula?
Sauvignon.
Yeah, it's made South Coast Winery.
Oh, yeah.
In Temecula.
Beautiful place.
They grow the grapes at the foot of Palomar Mountain. Mm-hmm. And they have a big facility out there in Temecula where 1 million people a year go by and sample their wine and all that. Wow. And they've won the Golden Bear Award the last few years in a row, which means they beat Coppola Winery and all those other wineries in Northern California. Wow. So,
punch them right out. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
nice.
out. Hey, please, don't get too excited.
I just got so excited about it.
That's what people do when they have success. They get so excited they congratulate themselves right out of it.
Instead of slapping myself on the back, I just knock myself unconscious. So are you a wine connoisseur?
Not that much. It was just an opportunity. They wanted to use the name, so I went with that.
You're like, I actually don't drink. You're not in AA or anything like that, though, right?
I'm not an AA, but I don't really drink very much, no.
That's good. It's a nasty habit, children. Alcohol poisons you, but not the wine. The wine helps you. It helps your spirit.
Yeah. Wine's been around. It's well known.
It's been around for a few years.
So many hit songs.
Many hit songs.
Oh, you pulled it up.
So the next album has Peaceful, Easy Feeling. It has a song called Part of Me, Part of You, which was the theme song for the movie Thelma and Louise.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Which is a mega hit.
Yeah.
It has Slow Dancing, again, which I recorded on this album, but I did
one more song.
A new version of it as a duet with Rita Coolidge.
Cool. Nice.
And so we just made a video with Rita, which we shot at the La Paloma Theater.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm waiting to see the footage come back from that.
Very cool.
So La Paloma's still running and still, okay, good.
About 8 months ago, I did a benefit for the La Paloma. With, Danny Salzhandler helped put it together. He's the one that does the Arts Alive banners. That's Anita's. And Cindy Lee Berryhill played. But anyway, we sold out the La Paloma to raise money for the Paloma to keep it going.
Nice.
But so we did Slow Dancing with Rita. I had a song called The One You Love, Soul Searching, Already Gone was my song for the Eagles.
Classic.
Party Town, and You Belong to the City, and then some other ones.
I can't believe it.
And there's
I can't believe it.
A few songs on there that I wrote with Glenn Fry that no one ever heard because we never got around to recording them. So I put a couple of those on there.
Oh, how interesting. Wow. What a treat for fans and the new people, too.
Where did your songwriting talent come from? Because some of the songs, those are like part of the fabric of America. Those are just like great classic songs.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from.
You're like, I just woke up one day.
It comes from the same place as everything else, I guess. But
when you were young, did you have kind of lyrics? Has it always been that way for you?
Yeah, I was kind of into poems, and I used to work delivering at Chicken Delight for a couple years. And one day the boss took me aside. He said, "You're always whistling. You're whistling something on the radio, then you're whistling Beethoven, then you're whistling some old blues. He says so it's always just been in my head. But I wasn't a musician. I was just always so into the music.
You had the melody and the.
And
so if you weren't a musician, when did you pick up the guitar?
I was 18 when I started playing, which is late. And they had coffee houses, and I would go there, and I wasn't very good at. I'd sing a song, people wouldn't recognize it. They wouldn't know what song it was. I was not very good. So then when I made up my own songs, they weren't really able to bust me because they didn't know how I was supposed to go.
Gosh, that is
and
so funny.
I started just making up things in the coffee house.
And those songs, like some of those hits, did you write the chord progressions as well, or did you write those together with other people? Or
Usually, well, I write the whole song, like "Peaceful Easy Feeling" is my own song, "Slow Dancing," and then when I write with others, it just depends. We both contribute to the music and the lyrics.
And do you feel like you have like a real good understanding of theory, or how do you connect the chords with the melody? Like, how does that work for you? It just happens, or you feel like you have a good grasp on it?
You're singing a melody and you plink around different chords until you find one. Then later, Glenn Fry explained to me, he's played "Peaceful Easy Feeling." He says, well, you got your basic 3 chords, and then your extra 3 minor chords in any key. Well, I had no idea what he was talking about, but he showed me. And then he said, look, here's peaceful. See, you got the minor chord right here. I go, I did that?
Wow.
And then over the years, I learned the theory eventually.
You already had like the intuitive part. And
Did that
just
part
kind of,
that like messed up your whole songwriting once you learned it? You're like, oh, I wish I didn't know.
We had a thing in the folk music world where we felt like if you learned too much music theory or took too many lessons,
yes,
it would kill what was great about the music. We really thought that. In retrospect, it was kind of a big mistake, Most people, their parents make them play piano for 7 years, and they hate every minute of it. And then later they become a musician.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, they don't have to go back and learn all that hard stuff because they already did it.
Yeah, they get through the tough stuff.
Yeah.
You almost did it the other way where you had
The other way where I never did learn it, and I'm still trying to catch up. But
And do you play almost every instrument?
No, I play harmonica, a little bit of piano and guitar.
What about drums? You
No, I do
bang
not.
around the drums at all? No.
I do not play drums. There's a lot of people now that play everything.
Yeah.
I thought all the young people were not going to. I thought they were just going to be able to do it all on their laptop.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out like that.
We don't allow young people to play instruments anymore. Just only laptop.
Just laptop.
Yeah,
Just
strictly.
laptops.
And that's
phones.
what I thought it was going to be. Like, you can enter your drums, but it didn't work out like that. It's like young people took to all the instruments. There's way more young people that play all the instruments really well than there were when I was young. When I was young, a guy just played.
Interesting. Like you had a sole focus, and now it's
Yeah.
One thing that I really like is the looping.
Looping.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I have a friend that will do that with trumpet, and then he picks up the saxophone, and he's his one-man band. So it's
And I think it's partly we didn't have that ability to overdub. So why would a guy learn drums and bass and all that when in reality he's never ever going to have the opportunity to play them at the same time? In the old days, a guy might be a bass player and maybe he'd also play drums. He could fill in, you know what I mean? But now it's useful, and all the young people, they seem to play everything pretty well, or a lot of them do.
Yeah, maybe there's just more of the younger generation has parents who have a lot of instruments laying around the house.
Well, that could be true.
And they're just rocking it out.
what about like young songwriters? Do you have kind of up and coming people that you feel are like, wow, they really, I can kind of see it in them, or some of the people, are you just kind of like, oh man, you guys are singing about sneakers, and I was going to say a curse word,
Well,
but
it doesn't. It's more per song for me. I'll hear a song and like it, and then everything else just kind of comes in and goes out. And I don't really care. It's always been like that for me. So I'm not really focusing. I like this song, Paper Doll, on the John Mayer album, this new album.
yeah.
He's
But I'll
great.
just hear
I like
something.
John Mayer
John's
a lot.
really great.
One
he's
song will
quite
just
the
jump
musician.
out, and I'll love it. But I don't have any new young people I'm listening to that are blowing my mind.
Have you done any producing locally? Have you produced any other musicians?
No, I don't produce.
No, not into it.
Yeah.
Like, screw off, kid. Stop bugging me. Please don't call anymore.
It's enough to. I used to write 4 or 5 songs a year, but now I write a lot more. I don't
I
know
know,
why.
especially with this.
I don't know why that happened, but I'm writing songs all the time. So my mission is really I'll feel things and I'll write something to express it, and then I want to get it out. So I don't really have time to. I spent a lot of years promoting other people, having bands with other people, doing live shows on the internet for a couple of years with a lot of guests. And finally I just said, no, I'm just going to get my own stuff out there.
Good.
So I don't
for you,
produce. I
yeah.
just try to make as many records as I can.
You're the Beyonce. Huh? You're the Beyonce.
Is that right?
this, yes.
I don't know that much.
Of Encinitas.
You are the
You're
Beyonce of Encinitas. And I was going to ask, because I love the Room to Run cover.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I wish I could put your hat on the horse and be
Yeah.
like, you need to keep it well branded, but that's
Well,
just...
I have a fabulous graphic. I don't know if you guys ever go to Swami's.
Oh, yeah.
And did you see the giant tree stump that the guy carved into a face?
I forget it now, but I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just about 8 feet high, and it's a big face. And my son photoshopped this hat on top of it. Perfect for me.
It's amazing. Just everything has the hat
what
on
you're
it.
talking- yeah.
Yes, I see. I want the horse.
the next record.
And I was going to ask. So there's a song title on here that cracks me up. It's called "The High Cost of Hate." In parentheses, let's make some lawyers rich.
Yep.
So is that? Will you tell me about that? What's
Yeah.
that? Is that like license people and that kind of stuff, or
I guess, can I say anything? on-
anything?
Anything you want.
Anything
It's
you
like-
want.
Please do.
The chorus is, I'm a cheating bastard and you're a selfish bitch, so let's call it quits and make some lawyers rich.
Oh, so it's like a divorce song.
Yeah, that's the chorus. And, we're going to, it says, I guess for us, baby, it's way too late. We're going to have to learn the high cost of hate.
Ouch.
So I had just talked to all these, I went to Nashville to write songs. I talked to all these songwriters who had big hits, and 3 meetings in a row, the guys were complaining because they lost all their money in divorces.
Oh, yeah.
And they can't see their kid. And it was just so sad and so awful. I came home, I sat at my kitchen table in Encinitas, and I wrote this song, and my wife said, well, that's great, but you're not going to be able to play it anywhere. And so I didn't play it. And then finally I got a gig, coincidentally, in Laguna, where I was playing for a whole room full of the best divorce attorneys in the United States.
Are you? That was what the gig was for.
Yeah,
That
it
is
just coincidentally.
That's crazy.
It was, so I played it.
Really?
And,
What did
and they went nuts.
Standing ovation.
See, this needs to be like that. Was a theme song for some.
That's good that it wasn't from your own
I was
personal
saying, yeah.
experience.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I didn't want to be too intrusive, but I was hoping. That
I forget. I was
wasn't you.
watching some guy. I don't know who he was, a comedian or something. He's like, I'm not going to get married. I'm just going to find a woman I hate and buy her house.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
See, I never think like that. My parents are still married after lots of years, so that's
Yeah,
foreign
you have
to
to have
me.
somebody you can look to and go, oh, it's possible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. I still feel like it's very much possible.
It is, yeah.
And plus, I wouldn't want to go through all that. I don't have time to like
No.
be in
It's
a
a killer.
divorce attorney office. So with playing shows, do you kind of map out throughout the year how long you want to be away from home, or how many shows you like to do out of town, or what's your?
I don't do a lot of shows. I don't like to travel a lot. But basically I just take whatever comes in that looks good.
You always play a lot of great festivals. I see you at some.
I played this Michael Ahern barn dance in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He's been doing it for about 20 years. There's somebody coming here. Dale Watson's going to be coming here, and he was there. It was like a 3-day festival with all incredible music. It was all people I'd never heard of, and they were all great.
Nice. I love it when that happens. When
Yeah.
it's people you've never heard of. It happens here a lot. I'm like, I don't know who's coming. And then I see them and I'm like, wow, fantastic show.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Right.
It really is. And then you don't have to. You could make a story up. But I know you've played the Belly Up so many times. Do you have any times that kind of stand out in your mind?
Oh, so many.
You could, see that you could make up anything.
So
You're
many.
like the time I hung from the roof rafter or
Well-
anything like that. But yeah, you've been.
I mean, really, like you have been here probably since the beginning, since they first started having music. Did you live here when they started
Yeah.
the Belly Up?
So I've been here the whole
you've seen
time.
it the whole
Dave
time,
Hodges.
right? 43 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
1974 was when it
Yeah.
opened, right? Yeah.
I definitely played here. I had the
awesome.
Funky Kings played here, and that was my group from 1976.
Wow.
So maybe 77, 78. We played here.
And you were old enough, right? You didn't have to sneak in.
No, I didn't have to sneak in. And Jerry McCann, do you remember Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, I
I-
don't remember him personally, but I heard of him.
Yeah. He came one year for the New Year's dressed up as a frog. And somehow that's the most memorable. Everybody in the whole place, everybody just remember Jerry McCann as a frog.
That's amazing.
And he got up and played. He's a fabulous musician and guitar player, too. I started playing with Jerry one time and go, it's in the key of, no, don't tell me. That'll spoil it. Oh. Don't even tell me the key. That'll just spoil the fun.
And it was just for a random New Year's outfit.
Just New Year's party a long time ago. And then, all my bands, and I opened solo for millions of people at the Belly Up all the way back. And then some recent, I played here with Timothy B. Schmidt recently.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. But it's
Dave Alvin.
Yeah. It's just been, and then the Alex Woodard and his For the Sender.
Oh, yeah.
With Sean and Sarah Watkins,
Yep.
and John Foreman,
And Nina
and all those
Nina
guys.
in
Nina
there.
Anderson.
Yeah, Nina
That's
Anderson.
like a tearjerker night, right? That's like
Yeah.
And that's
stuff.
refreshment. So that's when people send letters to the artists about. So
Yes.
you read letters that you've gotten from your fans. Is that
No, what happened is he calls us in on the project, Alex. So he got a letter from a relief worker in Haiti during the earthquake. And so then Alex and I sat down and wrote a song from this letter. Then Alex wrote songs with some of the other people in the project about this letter. And so then we all get up and do the songs. And then during the show, Alex has the letters. He shows you the letters. Sometimes the real people are there and they speak, and it's really,
I would cry.
it's unlike anything
Yeah,
else.
I've heard
cry.
it's like not a dry eye in the place.
Yeah,
Like
it's really a great thing. So, but so many things at the Belly Up.
we need to put your picture on the wall. You're like a serious part of the history.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be
downstairs.
good.
Actually, do you know Billy Watson,
Yeah.
harmonica player?
Yeah.
He actually years ago came in here and he put his own picture up on the wall. He had a framed black and white picture.
Oh, my
And
God.
he drilled it up, and it
That
was
is
perfect.
hilarious.
It fit right in. Like no one even noticed it, but I saw him do it, and I was like, "Yeah, Billy, that's so."
That's
good."
amazing.
Eventually, they changed the pictures, but
He's an artist too. He's a,
I love
Amazing
him so
artist.
much. I really miss him. He doesn't play here enough.
So
anymore.
we'll pick like a very random photo of yours, and then you could help us install it
get
anywhere
really
you want.
big.
okay,
Yeah,
big. Okay.
that would
Really
be so
huge.
funny if it's like as
Something
the
where I'm
tree.
going like this.
Yeah, anything you want. And what about some of your like personal stuff? What else? What other hobbies do you have? Do you like?
Well, I was
animals
just going to say about the Belly Up here that downstairs, they used to have a wall that they took out between the backstage and where you keep the equipment there. And that wall was covered with stickers.
Yeah.
You remember the sticker
Yep,
wall?
I sure do.
I don't remember.
It was actually like a couple cabinets, and they were full of stickers. Yeah, and people we know have those cabinets.
Oh.
I think maybe Steve Roeder has one.
I thought you were gonna say people we know like died in the cabinets or something.
No, because when we got rid of them, they were actually in demand. People were like, "I want that cabinet."
really?
Yeah, because they had a history of
Well, I didn't
years
know.
of stickers
They
on
were,
there.
they were stuck on the, it was like
Yeah.
a wall this big of cabinets and stuff.
Stickers, yeah.
But all stickers from the years. And then I asked the guys, and they said, no, that we didn't, the bands just didn't put these up. These are curated by the people that work here. If a band came and had their sticker and put it up, if we didn't like the band, this was like big, like Steve and the other guys were telling me, if we didn't like the band, we took the sticker off. So only stickers you see here,
I still
They're
do that.
chosen.
and there were like 1,000, 2,000 stickers. The history of the Belly Up. And a lot of these bands, they all had to get to a point where they had a sticker, which means, they're kind of on the road. And yet most of them you've never heard of. And the life of all these bands, and they got to that point and they made their cool little sticker and they put it up there, and there they were. So I photographed them all, and then they took them away. The history of the Belly Up is what I'm talking about
Yes,
here. It's
yeah.
just a colossal history.
It is, and when you think
this
of all the
place.
talent that comes through and all the effort of people, I always think, each band is people spending their time on the road, their gas, away from loved ones. Like even what it takes to make a CD, like of the printing, the pressing, like the promotion. It's really crazy how much effort goes into, I'm sure, making a CD. And to do something like make 4 within 2 years or something like that is a lot of effort.
Yeah, you're rocking and rolling. Are you recording any of those locally, or where are you recording at?
Well, I record them at my house in the backyard, and then my producer works on them, and he has a place in Escondido.
Okay.
So that's how.
And duplication is not cool. That's what it says here. That's
cool.
amazing.
Oh, don't
That's,
duplicate.
I feel like that's the California way of like saying a law. That's so cool. That's so funny. Not cool, bro. Yeah, it says unauthorized duplication is a violation and not cool of cool laws. Yeah. That's
Good way to say it.
That's like, don't do it, bro. So yeah, so personally, are you like do you like animals?
Nah, I hate animals. No, I'm kidding.
Do you eat them?
I like my son's dog. You know, I don't have a pet right now. I had pets and they died, so I'm kind of free right now.
Yeah.
Of course I like animals, you know.
Do you have a favorite kind in general?
I'm partial to dogs, I think.
Yeah. They're
Dogs
friendly.
that don't bite me,
Yes.
kind of thing.
I can't see a dog biting you. I feel like they sense nice
Same
people.
thing with, I don't like people that bite me either.
I do.
The undead,
Yeah.
the zombies.
That's how I met my wife.
Oh God. Ew.
Ba-doom.
It's so weird. What about, do you have any special morning routines?
Yeah, I do. I sleep till past noon.
No.
Yeah, that's my routine.
Really?
Oh yeah, I find it's a great, you know.
So are you a super night owl?
I'm a night owl.
So like 3 or 4 in the morning? Or?
Yeah, always.
So you're recording these songs back in the backyard till 4 a.m. and
Yeah, or I'm making them up, or I'm watching TV, or I just, it's been about 40, 50 years that I just stay up late. I think it started from, you play as a musician and you get done at 2 a.m.
Yep.
Then you and all the people go to whatever Mexican place is still open. And then about 4 a.m, you get home and you're just trying to wind down.
Yeah.
And after you do that for a few years, it can kind of stick. Although a lot of musicians they turn it around later, but I didn't. So that's just the way it is.
Wow. You don't watch infomercials and like order mops or anything like that, right?
No, because I found out if I watch them, all you have to do is watch something long enough.
Yes, then you need it.
And then it doesn't matter what it is or how stupid you thought it was when you
Yes.
first turned it on. You're just reaching for your credit card after a while.
I ask that because the last time I was up at 3 in the morning, I for real ordered like a copper frying pan, and I don't even cook at all. And it was a mixture of delirium and then just like impulse, where I'm like, I need a
fun.
copper pan. Like, well, how have I not lived without this? So
Fun.
that's what.
It's fun to buy things.
And then when you wake up, do you have anything else? Like, do you have automatically? You don't make like a smoothie or
No, I
something
just
random.
have some coffee or tea, and
and you hit the day.
yeah, crack of noon, as Tom Waits used to say.
cracking
Roll out at the crack of noon.
So how does it work if would you turn down radio stuff in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I don't know how musicians do that. We have so many that come through here where they do something at like 8 in the morning, then they play here. That seems very exhausting.
Yeah, well, I used to do everything, but now I don't care as much. So I'm just, hey,
Good. You're like, no, thank
they
you.
want me, I'll show up, when I can.
5 p.m.
Yeah,
not
PM.
a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, not a.m.
Right?
And have
So
you-
I bet back in the day when, let's go back to the 70s, I bet you had some good times
I can remember some of them.
out on the road or, I mean, did you ever used to hang with the Eagles like when they were touring or?
Not so much. Not so much. When they were off the road sometimes, and I would see my friend Glenn Fry, and I would see the other guys a little bit, but when
Glenn seemed like he was probably a little bit of a wild man back in the day, yeah?
that's true. That's very true. All of them and all of us were pretty much,
You guys ever go get in any trouble like in Mexico or?
I didn't with them, although I know they traveled quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were up to. I was doing other things
You were
while the
doing your
Eagles
thing.
were there. Then when they broke up, I worked with Glenn for 14 years, and we co-wrote the songs for his album. So I followed him. I was in the studio with him and went on the road with him a little bit and stuff like that. Then the Eagles got back together. But when they're together, they're 1,000%.
Yeah.
And I don't have much to do with it at all. So, but I just opened those shows for Timothy. I love
Yes.
Timothy. I love Joe Walsh. I love all the guys. They've always been way out of their way to treat me really good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's always been super great.
Joe seems like a fun guy too. He's kind of a wild man as well, right?
Yeah, although he's a very solid guy now, and of course an amazing music guy. But
Yeah,
but Glenn
great
used to
guitar
say
player.
back when he was still doing. He said, "Joe Walsh, great bunch of guys."
Oh my God. That's hilarious. That's
I opened a tour for Joe Walsh for 11 days one time.
11 days.
Yeah,
And
that
then you're
was-
like, bye.
That was fun.
Oh
I
no.
appeared on his radio show. Joe Walsh had a radio show every week in New York City for years on the biggest FM station.
Really?
Yeah. So when we played New York, he asked me to be on his radio show with his bass player, Rick Rosas, who has now died. And that was fun. And I remember waking up in the hotel looking out Times Square, and the Times Square, light display, the giant, way bigger than a real billboard. I opened my curtain, I looked out, and said Joe Walsh for president.
No.
And it had this giant, because he was running for president,
He was. I didn't even know this either.
Yeah.
Where have I been
for several
President of ASCAP or like
president of the world?
Yeah.
Of the United States?
He didn't bother to notify the Democrats or Republicans. He just started running.
Wait, so what term would
Tried
this
to
have
trump
been, or
it.
what year?
That would have been the 70s.
How did he not win?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
It didn't get to
I
enough.
don't know.
Joe, if you can run again, that'd be great. That'd be.
He didn't have the right song. He didn't have the right campaign song.
Maybe.
So did you close the hotel curtains and
No, I just
go back to
went,
bed?
wow, what a world.
Yeah, that's really funny.
No doubt.
Have you ever thought about running for any political office?
Don't think so.
No, you're like, I've done too
The
much.
mayor of Encinitas.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
have
the thing
my
is,
vote.
I might win, and that would be
I
tragic.
know.
know.
I feel like
so-
you really would win for real.
Yeah, I don't.
And you're like, now what?
It's a job, man. It's a job dealing with people. They all have their own opinion.
Ugh,
You know,
I don't
so
like that.
I'm not like. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Who wants a job?
What about, I know.
Trying to get rid
and
of
we'll,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I've already gotten rid of mine.
I want to hang out like you and
It feels
sleep till
good.
the crack of noon.
Yeah.
This whole job thing.
I don't have, I used to do the marketing
it's
here and I just quit. So
bass-ackwards.
this is my only job right now. I love
The
it.
job thing's on the way out.
I agree.
In about 25 years, there's not going to be a need for jobs.
Yes.
Because we're going to have all the robots and energy and technology doing all the work. And people are really going to have to undergo giant social upheaval because we're just so into everybody has to have a job to
Yeah.
prove who you are and stuff.
I love that.
Well, what about, and I got to say, there have always been fabulously rich people throughout the entire history of the world who had slaves, who had other people working for them, the feudal system, the Chinese. In every culture, there have been people who were so rich that they didn't have to have a job. The lord of the manor didn't have to have a job. He just go hunting, he just wear clothes, he just, So those people have always dealt with the fact that I don't need no job. The lilies of the field will be provided for. They don't have a job.
Right.
So I think people are going to have to get used to a new world where you don't have to have a job.
I'm excited for it. I'm already ahead of the curve. I took
We can
myself
just
out of the
write
game.
songs.
So I've been working on that for years.
You're doing a good job. You must feel blessed to just be able to just grab your guitar and
Yeah.
throw down some chords.
Yeah.
And
Like when
little
people at
poetry
parties
here
say,
and
"What do
there.
you do?" or something, then you're supposed to say what your job is first, and I don't like that.
I know.
You tell them you're a drug dealer.
I tell my
the
podcast
best
with Jack
answer.
Tempchin, so
There
whatever.
you go.
Yeah, it's tougher for women too, because then you go, well, I'm just a housewife. Thing. Oh, never mind you. I'll go talk to somebody else.
Right,
That's kind of over now, but that
Yes.
was that way for a long time.
right. But your worth now, I feel like, is seen
Yeah.
in your accomplishments, and I don't feel that that's true at all.
Well, you could always use the phrase "retired billionaire," "retired millionaire." Maybe that would make them happy.
Millionaire in training. I'm a mitt.
Yeah,
It's cool though. You could be at a table like this with millionaire, billionaire, doctor, surgeon.
Yeah.
But if you're a musician, I bet most people are going to be most interested in talking
you
to
win the
you
cool game.
and what you're doing because you have a little bit of magic that they don't understand.
I know. I was in an accident one time, and then the doctor sewed me up, and then he said, "Oh, man, I'm going to quit being a doctor. I want to be a songwriter like you. Quit being a doctor." Going, man, you're crazy. It's like you just saved my life.
Yeah.
You sewed me up, and now you want to just go write some songs?
Right.
Get your head together, man.
He's thinking this while he's stitching you.
Yeah, but there's sort of like a reflected glory,
Yeah.
People say, I want to do that,
Right.
If you were successful at it, but there's a lot of people that write songs that just
Yeah.
They have to do other
yeah,
stuff.
then they got to go sweep floors like me, and
Yeah, but that's
It's noble.
Yeah.
But I was kidding. That was
mostly
very
been
noble.
for me, and that's not bad.
It wasn't a horseback riding accident that you were in, was
No,
it?
no.
No. Okay, good.
shooting,
I was going to say
shooting
this
the
wasn't.
cover for that.
I was going to say that you weren't originally on this cover, and then
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I fell off right over here.
This is the B-roll footage. Is just you laying on the ground upside down
That's on the back.
and crying. Yep.
yeah.
So, have you always lived in San Diego?
I'm sorry?
Have you lived here
Yeah,
forever
I'm a
and
San
ever?
Diego person.
Heck yeah. So
Yeah,
we can
all
claim you
right.
forever. Don't ever move. Have you wanted to like live in places like Nashville and stuff like that? Or
No.
No.
The only place I was ever tempted maybe would be Hawaii.
Yeah.
You go over there and you just go, what was that reason I had to go back home for?
Yeah.
I know I have to go back for something, but I can't remember now what it is because this flower smells so good.
Yes, it's beautiful. You could open up a restaurant, Dueling McFleetwood's a restaurant, and we'll eat there. We'll eat at your new restaurant because McFleetwood has a like Fleetwoods or something
Yeah,
like
Fleetwood's.
Where?
On Maui, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not that old. I think he only opened it a few years ago, I
Right.
think.
But if you wanted to open one next to him,
Yeah. I
we'll
could.
go to yours and we'll give you yours.
No,
like-
I wouldn't though. I'd just go eat at his. That's what I would do.
I would apply for a job.
That guy's played here a lot.
Yes, he was on the podcast with us too. He was
Really?
so awesome and fun. Yeah.
Oh, that guy's amazing.
Really cool. He talked a little bit about like his time in boarding school. Did you go to public school or were you a private boarding school kid?
Well, okay, I'm looking at you because, like, when the English people talk, and they say public school, they actually mean private school. I don't know if you.
Like English.
Yes, I went to public
like
school. In
Brits.
So you
England.
went
Public school.
Well, public school is actually private school
Private
that your
school.
parents send you to, whereas private school is actually public school. But that's in England. But I went to public school here.
Okay. Like I went to public
just
school
went to the
too.
regular schools, and they were great.
So you didn't get sent away to boarding school?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
My parents weren't rich,
Yeah, no.
so I didn't get any of that. And I didn't want any of that. And and then I went to college at San Diego State, and that was pre-tuition,
Oh, so you was
free.
Yes.
It was
Oh
a
my
thing
gosh.
called free that they did for the people here.
Free education. Imagine that.
And I got to go all the way through, and I don't have any student loan, and I didn't know any money. So that's a concept I love.
Me too.
Let's bring that back.
Right?
They're
Yes.
trying to bring that back, but
I just saw what like yearly
We are
tuition
going to
is.
elect you for mayor.
yeah.
So we can have free college. San Diego only.
You're going to open up your room and you're going to see your living room blinds and you're going to see like a Tempchin for mayor billboard that we've constructed.
Sounds good. If I win, I'll just have a couple other guys actually do the job.
Exactly. That's what they do anyway.
Yeah.
You can just go golf.
I'll just hire a guy
Who are some of your favorite musicians, singer-songwriters that you've spent some time with or hung out with? Or who are some of those guys in life that you really love and maybe have influenced you a little bit?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of those people. I just on the new record I cut Already Gone with Herb Peterson and Chris Hillman. Those guys have played here. And Chris Hillman is from San Diego.
Yeah, I recognize his name.
He's one of my favorite all-time musicians. He was a founding member of the Byrds and the Flying Burrito Brothers with Graham Parsons.
Nice.
And then he played here a bunch. Desert Rose Band was his band. He had 16 top 10 country hits with that.
Wow.
But he's like, it's bluegrass, and somehow he combined bluegrass into the Byrds and made it great rock and roll. And then he combined bluegrass and country with Graham Parsons. So he's been at the forefront of a lot of the musical movements I love the best. So Chris Hillman's one guy.
Nice.
And I've written with some fascinating guys. Bobby Whitlock from Mississippi, who was in Eric Clapton's band and played on Layla, the album Layla and stuff. He's an amazing guy. We wrote a song together that was cut by George Jones, so that was pretty cool.
Wow.
And of course, my buddy Glenn Fry, that I worked with all those years, is far and away the best guy that I got to work with. The most entertaining and the greatest songwriter, and So co-writing songs, which a lot of writers don't do, but I like, has been really cool because otherwise I wouldn't have got to meet with and work with all these different people. I would have just been doing my own thing. But I got to sit with these guys. And when you sit with somebody like that, you get all their lifetime of musicianship and writing efforts and it all plays into the song you're writing. So you get much more coming in. And that's just been one of the great joys I've had, is being able to work with all these different writers and see how they do it.
That's the magic. It's like
collaborating.
cooking up a beautiful stew, throwing some spices in there.
Yeah.
How did you meet Glenn? How did you guys cross paths?
Well, there was a club called the Candy Company. I'll go into this a little because it was on El Cajon Boulevard. It was in San Diego. And Glenn and J.D. Souther were in a band called Long Branch Penny Whistle. And they came down and played there. And I asked them to stay with me at my extremely large hippie pad that I had on Center Street by Park Boulevard. And so I had a whole bunch of guys staying with me in the hippie era, and we had a candle shop in the garage. And Glenn Fry and J.D. used to stay there anytime they came down to play. So that's how I met them and got to be good friends with them.
No, wait, was
Just
it?
because you like their music, or
Yeah.
nice?
And was it it wasn't your candle shop. It was just a random candle shop.
No, it was mine. I rented this huge house for $247 a month.
Oh my God.
There were about 8 bedrooms and a big garage. So
Wow,
I filled up the bedrooms with all my friends.
so jealous of times like those.
I know.
Excuse me. We had a wash tub base in the living room.
Yeah.
And then Glenn and JD used to come down all the time.
And
The candle shop,
yeah.
it was my brother and I. We sold candles at the Del Mar Fair.
Really?
Yeah. 1,200 candles we made and sold at the Del Mar Fair one year. Had a booth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know Claudia, the bartender who's been here forever?
I think I do.
She used to make great candles. Do you remember that? She used to
No.
make amazing candles, and she would give them as gifts. And I think she stopped.
They're not like secret weed candles, are they?
Maybe, but they were
I've had some of her-
fantastic.
Baking
how
goods
you would
that she
do
makes
that.
before, and I can say that out right. That's not illegal.
It's not illegal anymore, baby.
It's the last time I try any of her. Probably like emits cannabis into the air.
Yeah.
A candle?
Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
Can of candles.
It may be
Can
an
of
OB now.
candles.
Hey, that's a good idea for a thing. So do you still make candles?
No.
Just feverishly that's why you're up till like 2, 4 in the morning, just like making hundreds of.
make one every day. No. No, that was then. But that's how I met Glenn and JD. And then they started hanging around, became friends. So
And you guys just started writing together, jamming together? Or?
I didn't write with him. I didn't write with Glenn for 10 years after that, until the Eagles broke up. But he did, of course, he heard a couple of my songs and recorded them. So that was great. But and then finally we started writing together, and it was just kind of like, it was amazing, you know.
Do you ever get used to just listening to the radio and hearing your songs play, or is it
No.
No, it's surreal all the time.
It's always great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always super great.
Or if you're like sitting out with friends and then your song is like there. on the
Oh, I
radio.
just pretend like I don't hear it.
Really? Yeah. You're not
Really,
like,
I'm
hey,
going,
it's me.
Oh yeah, I'm still cool. That's right. I forgot I was me. It's
I
great.
know, but you're not like shopping in Target, so you don't like drop everything and start screaming like,
no,
it's
but-
me. not really. Yeah. They're like,
You turn to
weird
the
guy on
person
aisle
next to
4,
you.
like,
You like this song?
Yeah, you like this?
so it's surreal still even to this day.
Yeah, it just comes into the day, and I go, hey, you know, I guess, if your kid grew up and did something where they were in the news all the time,
Yeah.
you would see him on the news. Yeah, that's my kid. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, you only had something to do with it up to a certain point.
Right.
I wrote the song, and then the other guys made an incredible record of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went on tour for years and made it big.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not,
You're part of like a team that made
it's-
it. Yeah.
It goes out, and then after a while, it can get as big as you don't know. It's out of your hands completely, just like your kid goes out and does his own thing in the world. So
Then
yeah.
and then it doesn't even know you anymore. It
No.
comes back and looks you in the face and says,
Bitter towards you and
Yeah.
just wants and needs.
Who are you?
So that's what I was. Yeah, we had a fan question. And it was actually from my friend Johnny, and he basically had the question of when you write a song and it kind of goes out into the ethos, are you still very attached to it? Or
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. Is you still always have a certain connection with it?
Oh yeah, sure. And if it's something that I really cared about, which it always is, it's good because people will get a feeling from it. And they go, "Wow, that worked," So pretty cool.
Especially a peaceful.
If I write something that's not so good, I really don't have to worry about it because I've never had anything like that become a hit.
Really?
Yeah, people know.
They can feel it.
They somehow know, and so.
Have you ever had years that you wanted to just kind of not collaborate and be on your own, or you're always like, nope, I love it?
I like doing both. I mean, it doesn't stop me from. I write everything myself anyway.
Right.
But my latest partner is Keith Harkin, and he's a guy I met here in Encinitas, but he is was a member of Celtic Thunder. Celtic Thunder, the Irish band. It features 5 great-looking young guys.
Yeah,
who
I was going to
sing
say it
a
sounds like
cappella.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, they sing a cappella, and they're part of the organization that did Lords of the Dance.
Wow,
Then they did Celtic Woman, and this is Celtic Thunder. So Keith toured all over the world 6 times with this Celtic Thunder. They've had 8 PBS shows. I mean, they're huge international stars. But I met him at this clothing store, and I didn't know he was a musician. And we started hanging out, and then we started writing songs together. He has his own record deal now. In fact, he's got #1 record on the Billboard World Music Chart.
Wow.
He's got number one
record?
Yeah, in the world.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
You guys weren't like reaching for the same tie that was like only one tie left or something. And then
No.
you're like, I'm a musician. I need this. And then he's like, I'm a musician. Okay.
No, I was giving him a hard time about what was written on his T-shirt, and he's going, "Who's this old guy messing with me?" Because he's young, he's in his 30s. And somehow we hit it off, but we've written some really cool songs. I'm so happy when I get to write with someone that's that good, because like I said, he's an awesome guitar player, but the singing thing, he's Irish, he's full Irish, and they have a different sense of melody. They just start singing something and it just grabs you.
Yes. Yep.
They've got this whole different thing.
I feel like even their dialect is melodic, the way they speak. Yeah.
As soon as he starts talking,
songs. I have an Irish roommate. He always asks me, "What's the crack?"
Yeah,
like,
what's the crack?
Yeah.
At first you're going, crack? I don't do crack. Crack's their word for fun.
Yes.
Yes. Let's have some good crack. Well,
and
that's where that term
he called.
came
I forget now, but he called me some word for like a left hand. I'm left-handed, so he'll like say, "Oh, you're a something."
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
But I love the Irish like dialect very much.
There's my Irish buddy works with a guy whose name is Baker, and he had a giant hit in Ireland of a song. And I found out the song was actually a hit country song from here that someone made into a hit. It's called "I've Got a Winner in You." But due to his accent, Baker, the Irish guy, made a record, and it sounded more exactly like, "I've got a wiener in you." So there are these cultural differences.
Yes.
And it was all over the radio in Ireland. Apparently they,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
fine over there. They've got different slang.
The Celtic Thunder.
They love
There's a wiener in
wieners
us.
too, so
You guys should do a show of just that, like things that sound like.
I tried to write a song with my Irish buddy about where it'd be like half the words would be totally obscene in one country, but totally okay in the other country. And then the other half would be just the reverse.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Like if
I'd
a
listen to
guy's
it.
standing on the corner in England sucking on a fag,
yeah.
well, that's okay because he's just smoking a cigarette. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But there's a lot of words that have
Oh, that would be so smart.
totally different meanings.
Yes.
And yeah.
I like it. I'd buy that album in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be proudly singing.
Anything to get a wiener in you.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, we all want
Once
to
I
win,
drink this, drink all your wine, then I'll be screaming those lyrics.
And real quick, tell us
Yeah.
what's your chosen axe, or what kind of guitars you playing these days?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm playing a Martin CEO 7 designed by Mr. Martin, who runs Martin Company, and it's a copy of an old Gibson from 1945. The Martin Company makes brand new copies of old Gibsons.
Wow.
And so that's my guitar of choice right
So
now.
it's what year is it? It's a newer.
It's new. And then I also, when I play shows, I use an old Gibson J200 that I've had for quite a while.
Look at your eye. His eyes light up with guitar talk. I love it.
Yeah, those are my favorites.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for this really amazing discussion
thanks,
with us.
Myrtle.
Yeah, we love talking to you.
Always good to have
buy
you here.
your
You're always
candles.
welcome. Yeah.
Anytime, yeah.